Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I want to demonstrate how you can make an easy handmade book using a tab binding, like this. There is no sewing involved in making these books. All you need is paper and tape. If you want to go mad, you can use a glue stick, and then you can make your own tape out of fabric or out of other papers. And that's it. That's all you need to get up and making. This project is great because it is easy, it's fun, it's very budget friendly, and you can make it with kids. It's also really versatile, so there's all these different styles and you can make these books look like you and use them the way that you want to. What I'm going to do is show the initial basic technique and then move on and show you some of these adaptations and variations to give you some ideas about how to make your own. If you like journal arts, if you like book and paper arts, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure and turn on the notifications. And you will have more of them in your life. Let's go make some books. For the paper, you have a lot of options, which is great. It makes it versatile. You can really make it look like you. You can use single sheets or cards. This is a really popular way to do it because you don't have to sew, so you don't need a folded signature to sew into. You're going to be attaching these with a hinge on the outside. So you can just hinge, single sheets. I've seen some done with altered playing cards. Just hinge. You can also use full signatures. In this book, I have 6 signatures with 7 pages each. And they're held together with the tabs. And this is made out of scraps. I'll be talking more and showing you more of this soon, in just a mo. To demonstrate the technique, I'm going to use 6 pieces of, this is a medium weight sketchbook paper that I've tea dyed. And now if I have 6 pieces, that's going to give me 12 pages, and that's 24 sides. So even though I could bulk this up and turn it into signatures, I'm just going to do it like this. It'll make a super quick and easy and very light sketchbook that I can just throw in my bag to have for a spare. You do need an even amount of pages. 4, 6, 8, 10. That's the only caveat. Can't be an odd number. The only other supply you're going to need is something to make your tabs, your hinges. You can use washi tape. That's a very popular, people like that because it's already a tape and they come in pretty patterns. So you can use washi tape. I made some using some tea-dyed cotton, and I just took my glue stick and turned this into a hinge. So you can use cloth, you can use lace. I also went into my scrap box and just found that, and I could turn that into a hinge, again using the glue stick. And it will make some cute contrast and use up your pieces. So a lot of versatile tab options. Today I'm going to show the demonstration using plain old masking tape because it's easy to see and it's also easy to source. So if you don't have anything else in the house this weekend, you can still make a book. I'm going to show the absolute basic way that you assemble your book to start with so that you get it under your belt. And then I'm going to show some variations and adaptations. First, because of the size of this, the height here, let's go with 3 tabs. 1, 2, 3. You want one near the top, one near the middle, and one near the bottom. The only thing you want to be sure that you do is leave enough space between all of those for another piece of tape would fit in. Okay, does that fit? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, we're good to go. So you want to put folio number 1, page number 1 on page number 2. On page number 2, I prepared it by putting strips that are alternating. It needs to come up just a smidge. So you've got a little pattern there. You just need to prepare the first 2 to get started. Now turn it over and pull the tabs from your first page, 1, 2, 3, over to the back of your second page. Now, page 3. Don't put anything down. We need to add some more tape. So I'm lining up a tab of tape with this bit here on the first one. Put that down. This way I make sure that I'm pretty much lining all of them up with each other without having to over measure. So I'm just pressing that down lightly. See, just lining that up. And then pressing the paper down onto it to make sure it's connected. Now I'm going to go back and make sure they're pressed into place. Now we've got tabs, every other tab from page number 2. Now we're going to put down page number 4. And this one is going to have 1 and 2. So you're alternating between 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2. 1. Press it down lightly so you know that you're matchy-matchy. And line that up. Press it down lightly. Sorry. Then turn it over and press it down so you got a good seal. And 1, 2, 3. Page number 5. I've already added the tape. Page number 4, you're pulling the tabs over. And now to add the final page. You don't need any tape on the final page because you're going to pull this over. And there you go. It's a book. That's better. You see your tabs are holding everything into place. There's a little space between your signatures, but that lets the book lie nice and flat. which also makes it good for a sketchbook. It also makes it good for an art journal or a junk journal because it gives it lots of room to chunk up. So now that you know how to make the super easy standard version, let's look at some varieties and adaptations. This is one that I've made from just some book pages that I tore out of a book that I was altering. And I'm going to turn this into just kind of a funky sketchbook for me, where I'm working on portraits in charcoal and water solubles. And so I can just make it as messy as I want. For the tabs here, I just used some other text pages, cut them into strips, and glued them down with a glue stick. Tab, 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 tab. Here's the finished messy art journal that I made from scraps. It's the biggest difference here is that I'm using full signatures. And what I did was I made 6 signatures. Remember, you need an even number. And then I sewed each one together, with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So there's my threads. So I sewed 6 signatures together, and then I bound them with the tape. Instead of using alternating 3 and 2, I'm using alternating 2 and 1. And these are strips that I made from tea-dyed cloth. So now I've got this fun book made up of old papers, I can do some drawing, some collage, and then some pages are just going to be the way they are. So you can make yourself, like I said, a nice art journal or a chunky junk journal if that's what you like, and let it just chunk up with your tabs. This is from a book that I made from an altered children's board book. So instead of paper, I'm using board. I made this for an online class that I have, which is how to alter a board book. And in the course, I made it as a regular book. But afterwards, I put something heavy on it the wrong way, and it broke. Instead of despairing, okay, I did despair, because I worked on this for ages. I decided to improvise and be resourceful. And so I took the spine off and then used the boards, putting them together with washi tape tabs. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. This will also give you an idea of how this technique looks if you use single pages or boards or card. Yes, I did accidentally tape over his bill, and I will have to draw that back in. So what? 1, 2. And so now my book is different, but I still love it. If you would like to see more about this online class with the Not Broken book, I have a link to it in the text box below this video. Finally, I have this mini artist book, and I made this using heavy rag paper that I dyed with onion skins and with rust in a tea bath. So I'm not going to work on these pages. I'm just going to enjoy how strange and mysterious this thing is, the way it is. For the tabs, I had an older Echo print from a project that didn't work, and I tore it into strips and then glued them into tabby hinge things. So it looks like this. If you'd like to see how to learn to make boiled pages with onion skins, I have that online class and a link to it in the text box below this video. And there you go. I hope this gives you some ideas for making your own books with a tab binding. Please stay tuned. I have that video that a lot of you requested about working with rust, and it's coming up in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, if you have any feedback or any questions, please let me know in the comments below and let's compare notes. Until later, happy making.